And now I'd like to welcome to the channel Distillery CEO Andrey Kudievskiy. Hey, Andrey, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. I've been doing all this research on the Oakland Ballers, and last year they did a kind of a fan engagement activity where they enabled the fans to actually vote on the managerial decisions. So this year they took their decision-making game to the next level and opted to do AI, and so have AI actually make the managerial decisions. So in doing that, they chose you guys and worked with you guys in making it happen. So kind of give me the background on that, Andre, and how it all came together and how they chose you guys and what that looked like.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Bowlers are known for bold innovation in baseball. And at Distillery, we're known for helping companies, organizations to get those ambitious ideas actually realized. So the Bowlers, they wanted to see if AI could make decisions during the game. And we were excited to actually build the system that would make it possible. So for us, ultimately, it was a natural fit. It's their bold vision and our technical expertise married together.
Okay. So from the time that they initially approached you to the actual time of the game day, how long was that?
Oh, let's call it a very tight timeline. But to give you an idea, we're talking about weeks, where it's not even a month. So it was all very, compressed timeline and a lot of back and forth, super quick communication, agile decision making, optimization on the flight. And look, even during the game, we had developers just standing by, waiting if anything happens. Luckily, nothing happened dramatic, but I call it a better version of the application that we built in weeks.
Okay. So as the CEO, I just got to ask, how did you weigh the reputational risk of failure versus the upside of pulling off something that was groundbreaking?
The reputation is always on the line, but if you're not willing to risk, then you're not going to get any big wins. And for us, what we were going after is to basically demonstrating what AI can do, the power of AI in optimizing human decision making while preserving the human ingenuity. Because after the game, we actually got some fans reaching out on us, on our social media saying, look, the game is this is interesting because it's a human element, and for us it's like we're not going to take human element away from you. Even if everything goes right and AI is here to stay at baseball, if anything, it's going to be helping coach to make educated decisions with explanation why those decisions are reasonable and actual, there's a backup option if coach wants to consider it, but we only replaced coach for one game and then he got his job back.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I actually want to talk about kind of the fan pushback and criticism a little bit later. But one of the things that I thought was interesting was kind of how you used Open AI Chat GPT to program it. So it included, I read somewhere, a century's worth of baseball data and all the ballers' own history. So how does that work? How does that go into programming the software with over a century's worth of baseball data?
uh, Ultimately, it's not that difficult if you know what you do, meaning that during the baseball game, you are focused on two things. Number one, it's the historical knowledge of what you have about your team, about the team that is competing with you, and about the game itself, right? So
Right.
if you're good in those things, that's fantastic. But the second component is real-time data that you're getting during the game. What is actually going on in the field? So the component that you're describing right now is what's the historical knowledge of all the baseball games that ever happened. This is actually the easy part, meaning that this is what OpenAI, as well as any other foundational LLMs, already have. And that was not a big lift. Obviously, we needed to optimize it. We needed to train a little bit. We needed to integrate some feedback loops in order to make it relevant for this specific team, this specific game. But overall, I will tell you that this is not where the juice is. The juice is coming from how do you integrate the real-time decision making with this historical knowledge.
Okay, very good. That's really interesting. So, what were the biggest technical challenges, Andre, like for your engineers that they had to overcome on such a tight deadline?
Number one, tight deadline was actually the hardest
Right.
challenge because the famous triangle between money, quality, and speed, you cannot get away from it. So we were very very tight on just one of those components on the timeline. However, we have engineers who are not, they weren't doing this for the first time. Yes, it was our first venture in baseball. However, we helped other clients to do, I would say, more complex from the technology perspective, more complex things. And for us, this was I would call it a nice game from the technology perspective, a rather easier lift to realize even in the time deadline. But for what it's worth, the biggest challenge from the technological perspective came from we actually needed to have someone with a domain expertise in baseball in order to make it relevant for this game. And luckily, we had one of the developers who participated. He was a baseball fan, as well as one of the people on our team. He actually flew from Seattle to attend this game. And that actually was a tremendous help for us. We know technology. Please give us the knowledge how the game works and let us integrate this together. So the challenge was not technological per se, but the domain expertise. Sure. And we partnered with Ballers as well. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, the coach name is Aaron, and the module that makes decisions, we called it Aaronlytics. So yeah, just a little piece of information. Not sure if the name is here to stay, but that was a great start.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so with this specific AI system, what could it do in like real time? Because I read somewhere about it ingesting live data, recommending pitcher batter matchups. So kind of give me a sense of what it could do during the game.
All of that, and obviously it's not a backdoor. We literally had opportunity to inject the real-time information to it to help it make better decisions. But the result was it's a threefold result, meaning that there is a recommendation engine that gives you options, and it's also explanatory, meaning that we wanted to provide the explanation of why our AI game does what it does, give the reason why this decision has been made. Plus, we built it in a way that there is always an alternative option, meaning that if coach, for whatever reason, is very unhappy with the decision that AI took, there is one that is equally good or slightly less good for AI, but the coach could have taken it and told to the team, all right, well, instead of this change of lineup, we're doing this. And last but not least, we also, as a team, developers, we provided an opportunity to completely interject if things go terribly wrong. But obviously, this luckily did not happen. So our game, in a nutshell, is a decision-making helper, but Ballers, again, Ballers had balls to say, you know what, coach, for one game, you're stepping away, and this decision-making engine that should help you is not helping you. It's doing your job. So that's, hope that answers the question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I read somewhere that talked about how it would explain kind of this, instead of overwhelming fans with like generic stats, it would surface specific decisions that the managers face, like the pitcher batter matchups we just talked about, or when to pull a starter. So what does that look like? I'm trying to get a visual of what it looks like from the fans' perspective, that it's kind of educating them on what's happening in the game.
Yeah, so Kyle, for the beta version of the game, we weren't given the specific information to the fans in real time. However, I think that was supposed to be done after the game. In the game summary, or Ballers team, we were supposed to release the decision-making process. And ultimately, this is not what you want to give during the real time, because you're sharing information with the competing team. So I wouldn't actually consider this to be like a natural progression of it. But the aftermath and learning why this happened and what happened is actually going to be very beneficial for the fans, so they understand what's the decision-making process. And I'm sure that fans would actually be interested in on any game, not even AI. How do you say? Not AI sponsored. Not even the game that is AI helped, but just the regular games. Like, coach, tell us why you did what you did. Explain it to us. After all, as a fan, I would be very interested in this. And I'm a basketball fan, not a baseball fan. I would really love to get in the heads of those coaches and understand why the game went the way it is and why they made the changes and timeouts and the times that they did.
Okay, so Andre, I heard that it really just really overruled one decision, or the manager, Mr. Miles, Aaron Miles, had to make one decision overruling AI, where it was replacing a six starting catcher with another catcher. So outside of that, it sounds like it went pretty flawlessly. So kind of talk to me about the overall success of the project.
So from the success perspective, yes, it went better than we expected. Usually for the first version of the application, really first ever try, not just in baseball. I think that this is the first ever try in the professional games when AI took the seat of the coach. It went extremely smoothly. From the success perspective, oh, look, a lot of news, a lot of publicity, good and sometimes critical. We've seen this as well. So it made waves for sure. But from the actual how that game, one specific game affected the season, I think bowlers were sitting comfortably in the first spot anyways.
Right.
And even if they lost this game, I would, I believe that they would have still won the championship. So that's kind of my assessment. Technologically wise, it went better than I expected, better than everyone was hoping for, and this is great. From the percentage of how that affected the overall result, I don't think that actually did this significantly, but it showcased what AI can do in the hands of the right engineers and the right human, how this can augment the decision making while preserving the opportunity for the coach to actually play the game. And if this is implemented from the beginning of the season, I would not be surprised that it will give you a competitive advantage, even 2 or 3%. But in the professional sports, that's all what it takes to be way higher than you currently are sitting.
Right, right. So we've talked about it. You've mentioned it just a second ago, and we talked about it earlier. There was some criticism from the fans, some of them saying AI doesn't belong in the dugout. So what do you say to those critics? Because I know that I know that some people, and even Aaron Miles, I saw in an interview, said, I'm think about AI replacing me. So obviously fans see that. They don't like that it's replacing humans. So I understand, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this website and this YouTube channel, that there is definitely some really positive things coming from it. So kind of explain to me what you would say to those fans who are critical of the experiment, I guess.
Yeah, well, first of all, the peace of mind. This game was a one-time showcase. The Ballers manager already took the control back. And this game was meant to spark curiosity, not to replace the human element of the game. And I will also say that, look, other professional teams, basketball specifically, they hire data scientists, they hire statisticians already. So it's there. You just guys don't know about this, or they don't call it AI. We call it AI, and we were transparent and open about this. But other teams, other sports already use it to the extent that is, actually unimaginable. Every single data point is being recorded and analyzed and being tracked. So it's here. It's here to stay. And what we did is just this one happens to be in baseball, and for us is to showcase that this is a one-time thing. Fans will. I hope it will enhance the fans' experience after all, after it's actually been implemented. And it's important to note that we did it transparently, meaning that for us, the big thing was the explanation of AI calls, why they were made, what exactly transpired, and that adds to entertainment component to the game.
Right.
But it's not meant to take away the human creativity and human touch in the game as loved by Americans as baseball.
Right. America's pastime, right? So you talked about it was just like a one-off experiment, but do you feel like Distillery could scale and sell this to other teams and leagues in the future?
While this project was a showcase, obviously every soldier wants to be a general, and there is a way for us to build upon what is already existing, and not just in baseball. Meaning that there is a lot of other sports and similar type of, I would say, businesses that could use the historical data, get the real-time component, have the option for humans to intervene, have the feedback loops, education, and constant monitoring, and become better as an organization or as a sports team. So we are in the process of building the next iteration right now. It's a little bit too early to talk about, but the answer to your original question is absolutely yes. We don't want to stop where we are right now. And I think there is a level of or two worth of improvement even for this little thing that we built.
Okay. Well, last question for you, Andrey. Looking ahead, what excites you the most about the role of AI in sports? Because obviously you did this venture with baseball. And do you think experiments like this will become the norm rather than the exception?
Okay, let me answer the second part of the question first. I absolutely believe that this will become a norm. It has been becoming a norm already. It just wasn't called openly that hey, AI is here and machine learning is here, but we all know that it is, and everyone who is working with sports team know that the composition it's not just coaches and people who are actually on the field, but it's a number of folks who are in the IT way more than they're into sports. Right. The second piece is for me, what's in AI for sports is it will help to make decisions in high pressure environment and in real world, meaning real time, because that's where the human mind, unfortunately, is less efficient, meaning that we're all susceptible to stress and making wrong decisions under tough circumstances, tough timeline, etc. But also, tell me who can remember 100 years worth of baseball history, every single game, how that was played, who against whom, etc. It's like nobody. AI can. So let's use this knowledge to the benefit of the team, to the enjoyment of the fan, and let's just make the game better. So that's what it is for sports with AI. And for us as a company, it's all about continuing to partner with those innovation with those teams that are not afraid of innovation. Right. And I'll give the huge credit to Ballers because it takes courage to do what they did, be exposed to potential criticism, and they were not afraid about this. On the opposite, they were open about it, and guess what? We won that game as well as we won the championship. So congratulations to Ballers.
Right. Well, Andrey, it's really been enlightening listening to you and talk about it. It's really exciting for me just to kind of see how AI, I know you mentioned it's been involved in sports, and I've talked to multiple folks today and recently about how it has just been a part of sports for years, but now it's becoming more public knowledge and how it's being used. So I really appreciate you taking the time to explain to me how you guys work with the Ballers. Really cool project, and I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with in the future.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kyle. My pleasure.
Thank you, Andrey.